That's how you deal with it. That's how you deal with the little one. I'm gonna break that branch. So where ordinarily, that mother wildebeest keeps that little one really close to her side. Quite happy to leave it on its own, right in the middle of all of these, the whole crew here. Where's Monwana? Concrete crossing. Talking about some. Yeah, no, I mean there is the Mangwa. That's Mangawan. Monwana, and concrete crossing. Franklin just been scared up over there. Big zebra, or round zebra. I think. Where's Dias? Nice and peaceful just sitting with these animals and listening to them graze. Okay, well we could also do. Okay. Yeah, they are coming closer. Maybe we just wait a little while. They're getting quite relaxed with us now. There we go. Almost. Interesting question. Linda, Spokane in Washington. Regarding the big male lion we were talking about yesterday, not the one we were watching, but there's a big male that's come in from the Timbavati, and he's got a very long black bib of a mane. Linda's asking if I know him. I don't, Linda. This is a little bit too far south. The lion that I have up in the north are a good couple of prides of lion away. So I haven't seen him before. It's funny how these wildebeest are wandering backwards and forwards. I don't want to miss a blade of grass. I'm guessing, I'd say the crow flies from here to my house. Oh, hang on. I don't know, I forgot the gestation periods. Gosh, I've last used those details. So I was thinking, as the crow flies between here and where I live, 30, maybe 40 to 50 kilometers, and there'll be a considerable number of lion prides between here and where I am. Port Byron, New York. Where's this? There we go. About 8 months. Yeah, about 8 months. I really promise you, as a junior guide, we had to know all the weights and measures, and you learn it all off by heart. And I know, I could probably sit and think about it because they calf in the beginning of summer and the bulls establish their legs and things, but it's not something that one talks about often. But yeah, it's a little bit longer than the impala, and that's the wildebeest. In autumn, the wildebeest go through their rutting, and then in early summer the calves are born to coincide with the new grasses. Normally they all give birth together within a very short period of each other. The females within the herd are normally coming into estrus together. So this little one is about 7 months too late. I'd say about 6 months late. Very unusual. Maybe we're just not going to have a very harsh winter. Maybe we still got one coming. We've had a few really cold mornings. This morning is not too bad. It's just a bit of a chilly wind blowing. The sun's going to start warming it up. How do you find it, Becky? Considering you don't feel it as much as I do. Are you serious? If it's not raining, like an English summer, it's got to be warmer than this in summer, surely. Because then I can't go to England, even in summer. All my luggage would be full of heavy clothing. I want to go visiting where I can take the least amount of clothing. Some grey socks yesterday. Alright, so I think we've established there's not very much on this side of the river. We've got wildebeest, zebra and impala. There are some giraffe around. We haven't done a very extensive loop around this side of the river, but there's no real tracks of anything. We'll see what Adam has got to say. Good John. Good morning. Hello, Peggy.
How are you?
Where's Monwana at Concrete Crossing?
Monwana Concrete Crossing?
Yeah.
Land Cruiser Crossing?
No, not Land Cruiser Crossing. But maybe it's up there.
Concrete Crossing.
And Diet?
Up Thornybush, yeah.
Far up north.
It's too far.
Okay. There's no console for anything from the gate?
No.
There's blue to this side.
No even nothing.
Okay, thanks.
But that maybe Gala was coloring this side, eh?
Yeah, we had him yesterday.
Yeah.
With young Mandole.
Yeah.
We had him all day yesterday. Okay, thanks, Eddie.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye, Peggy. Actually, take the other crossing. Not this crossing. So the other crossing. Brrr. but I mean I have to because pardon? Minus. Okay. We're getting a visit from one of our viewers today. Marjo from Holland. Some fairly fresh ellie tracks going down to the river. Not famous, fantastically fresh, but Daytona Beach, Florida. Hello, Luella. Morning to you. You are late. And must be. Luella is asking about leopards and wanting to know if they use the same trees to stash their kills or is it random. It's pretty much random, Luella, because very, very often when they make a kill, they've got to get that kill into a tree immediately, and they can't really be sure that they're going to make a kill at a specific tree. So, generally speaking, when a leopard makes a kill, if there is threat of another predator stealing its kill, it'll take that kill up the nearest tree. I have seen on occasion where there are special elephant tracks here. The elephants are not too far away. Can find them. Oh, hang on. No. Okay, that's really a little complicated. I'll have to get back to that one, Andy. Just trying to finish this one first because now I've forgotten. My brain just doesn't really allow me to think it through this. There's any tracks coming through here. Have a look at giraffe tracks. So just getting back to leopard, I mean I've seen leopard that have had hyena. In fact, often we have leopard that, or I've had where I've been. Leopard that have got hyena virtually right on their tail. I've seen a leopard killing an impala, big male, and he hasn't even finished, big male leopard and big male impala. He hasn't even finished throttling it yet. The impala's still kicking, and he's taking it up into, or he took it up into a really scrawny little tree because the hyena was right there on his tail. Yeah, the hippo tracks came through here. Elephant came this way and then went that way. We'll go down upstream past my favorite tree in. Do you see any elephant backs sticking out of the reeds? I think it's a bit too early for them to be in the reeds. But having said that, there have been times when I have seen leopards taking their kill into a tree where they've had kill before. And that is because there's been a little pan or something close, something that has drawn animals to the same area where they've over time been able to make a kill in the same place as they have in previously. Anyways, now I need the question. There was a question about wildebeest. Not too sure who it was from. Let's get through this nightmare of the tree. Just who's it from? Who was it from? Donna in Florida. Okay, maybe I'll just click the mic when I'm done. We're trying to, with the delay that we have, just to let you know, there's a delay from the vehicle, 2 seconds, good few seconds actually, between the vehicle and FC. So sometimes Andy doesn't know when I'm finished talking. But Donna was asking a question about wildebeest and migration, and I know it was quite a complex question, but all I can really say for now on that, Donna, is there is no migration here. Different to those of up in the Serengeti and the Mara. This is thick bush. Here there are no big herds. Here there is no need to follow the rains and the grazing. Here there is grazing all year round, and there might be seasonal movement, and there might be utilizing slightly different areas, but generally speaking, the wildebeest, and as you can see, the zebra and most of the animals live in very, very small groups, small family groups, as opposed to hundreds of family groups all living in the same place and making these big herds. Oops, I wanted to show you something here. So, no real migration here. Look at this. Can you see this? Looks like a cocoon, and it is a cocoon of sorts actually. You got it, Becky? I don't want to disturb it too much, but that is the egg case of the golden orb spider. There are about 500 or maybe even more baby golden orbs going to come out of that one in the spring. My favorite spiders. I don't know if that helps, Donna. Wasn't really good. Somebody's been on this road this morning already. Trespassers in our area. Not really. I think the guys are just desperate for leopards, so they come down to our part of the world to look for tracks of Malawan and her cubs, but she's nowhere to be seen. Hippo is here. Where the hippo went? He must have gone up that road. Okay. Whoever came to the river came down that road, so we're going to go this way. This is where the hippo went. I think we're going to see him, but maybe we can find it. More or less where he went. The same hippo's tracks we saw this morning further downstream on the other side of the river. Boko, hippo, woo-woo. Want an answer on wildebeest at migration? Let me know. But Andy was giving me that question, and I was trying to concentrate on an answer for you and still think about an answer for another question. But all I could think of was wildebeest migration. First buffalo dung and buffalo urine, following the hippo. You see, here the bush is pretty much the same everywhere, so it's not that they need to migrate to go anywhere, because there is nowhere that is different. A long time ago, many moons ago, before the Kruger Park, actually before us humans arrived on the scene, there was possibly seasonal movement between the mountains and these open plains areas that existed here away from the mountains, in that in the summer months the wildebeest might have moved not as a mass migration, not as a migration one had in Botswana, or the migration that one still has Serengeti, Masai Mara. What could have happened in those days is that seasonal movement of wildebeest and zebra perhaps, they retained their small family groups, but collectively there were areas that they utilized different times of the year. Now the wet season would have facilitated good grazing here in the eastern part, east from the mountains, and then I suppose in the dry season they might have moved closer to the mountains where there's more moisture and perhaps better grazing. And then of course farming, agriculture, fences, roads, all sorts of things. The Kruger National Park is as well, just the establishment of the Kruger National Park, which is a north-south park, very narrow north-south national park, would have then stopped that kind of a movement of the species, the east-west movement. That was a long time ago. They had to adjust accordingly. Also, wildebeest are on a huge decline. There's a massive drop in the population of wildebeest as a result of the bush getting thicker and thicker, fewer open grazing, open plains. And of course then they just get picked off by lions, because in this thick bush habitat, it's difficult for them to get away. It's difficult for them to escape the claws. Tooth and claw. One of the reasons why they don't live in large numbers is because it's not really prudent to live in large numbers living in thick bush. Morning, James. James translating a message or a question into Afrikaans, wanting to know if there are any brillende leeu's vanoggend, any lion roaring today. No, well, there were early this morning, but very distant. I heard one of the guys picked up a male heading west, up in the northwest. Could have been the same young man that was calling yesterday, but I did hear him calling throughout the night. James, you need to translate into Zulu or Shangaan. Shingala Shankala Namutra Namput. Listen, okay. Anthrax still a threat with elephants. Are there any cases reported? No. Okay, we'll leave the end of that part of the question, because that comes out of left field. Anthrax isn't in any specific area to begin with. There have been, in fact, last year, just as I was leaving for Tanzania in September last year, which is normally the case, only the dry season is when you're really going to get anthrax threat. We had some kudu die of anthrax. I don't know how you're connecting it with elephants, and that elephants walk to areas where there are anthrax. I don't know where that comes from, so I'm not too sure how to react to that part of the question, Nicole. Anthrax will always be a threat, especially in the dry season. There are places where anthrax has occurred where the spores of the anthrax can remain dormant for hundreds of years, and they just need some sort of disturbance. Now, when an animal dies of anthrax, if vultures feed on the carcass, they will take that anthrax, they will spread it, and they will go elsewhere with it, and anthrax will then become a threat in different areas. I'm guessing that yes, to some extent, elephant, there might be the odd case of elephant being affected by anthrax. Almost all animals are affected by anthrax, not only elephants. But the idea is to burn a carcass before the vultures can get to it. And of course, at first identify that you have an anthrax problem. And that takes vigilance. That takes not only vigilance, but a little bit of presence of mind, what to do in the right circumstances. Unfortunately, maybe in a lot of cases, people don't know what the process or what the procedure is supposed to be when an animal dies of no visible signs of predation or no visible signs of distress, because anthrax doesn't really show up as any significant sign that an animal has died of anthrax. So when an animal is found dead, if that were to be the case, and of course you've got to remember as well that in a place like this, to find a dead animal that has died of no known cause, very difficult, because scavengers get to things very quickly, especially vultures and hyenas. And the idea would be to cover the carcass completely with branches, especially thorn branches, and then to bring in the veterinarian or the animal health, the Department of Animal Health, who will then take a blood sample, and when the case is confirmed that it is an anthrax case, one burns the carcass. But the idea is to keep scavengers off of that carcass, but also not to touch it, not to disturb it anyway, not to move it. But then again, I also need to brush up on my knowledge of anthrax, and I'm not in the veterinary field. I know enough that when I find something, I call in the people who count, and it is kind of out of my area of expertise. So, I don't really know how to get to that question about elephants moving to areas, and I don't know. I tell you what I'll do. I'll go back when I get back to camp. I'll read through that question and try and give you an answer on email that might be a little bit easier. But it's hard to wrap my head around it just listening to it over the radio. Of hippo. I think in some places it has happened, Elizabeth. I've never seen it. So I guess the answer to that is yes, but in certain places where they have done it before. Like when the hippos die in large numbers, lions feed on the carcasses. But as Becky says, you never know. Becky's also seen that. Never know whether they killed it or not. But I've known hippos to die, and then having known them to be dead before the lion got there. And there, in those cases, I know that they didn't kill it. They just happened to feed. Why waste all that protein?